In business these days, there is a phenomenon known as best practices. The communication of what works, the hope being that if somebody expresses what works, they found a better way of getting something done. If they communicate that to other people, then the other people can emulate the person with the best practice, and good news will travel fast, and everybody will win, and the business will thrive. Nothing wrong with that. Best practices is an interesting and useful thing to pay attention to. But what has caught my attention is there is a best practice that is not typically shared. When people share their best practices with each other, they're usually talking about some kind of transactional selling, marketing, business improvement, incremental improvement behavior that has helped increase income or reduce costs, something like that. Fine, good. But what about the best practices of that person as a human being? What about them as somebody who shows up to work every day? What about their best practices about life? And I'm talking about stuff like courage, risk, intuition, trust, communication, creativity. The human best practices, what they do that raises the bar for these kinds of qualities, not just a way of reducing costs or increasing revenues or finding a faster way to get something done. Those are all fine. But what about the human scale stuff, the stuff that makes a huge difference, the real meaningful stuff? That's what I'm into, and that's what I'm hoping my clients will start paying attention to create opportunities for their workforce, for their employees, for their colleagues, for their peers, for themselves, to take a moment to share their own best practices, the real stuff, the memorable, what I call moments of truth, that which defines them as a human being, that which inspires other people, that when others hear those stories, their life changes, something sticks, something elevates them, something inspires them. Those kind of stories I'm asking you to identify, and those kinds of stories I'm asking you to share on the job, with your friends, with your colleagues, with the people you work with. Those are the real best practices.